Quasi here, and in this video, I want to share with you how to come from a place of doing smart work instead of grinding hard and trying to get results. And really share with you the concept of identity shifting, how to come from a place of the most optimal being so all of your goals get manifested effortlessly without you having to work so hard and grind for so many years to really get the kind of results you want. I want you to stick around to the very end of this video because this was the biggest reason where I went from a place of, okay, I need to work for this for 2 years and working hard and taking massive action was never enough. How I got into the right internal state of being and how as a result, all the goals that I wanted started to manifest themselves effortlessly. This was something that was extremely profound for me. So I really want you to pay attention to this whole video towards the very end. Before I begin this video, I wanted to quickly announce that a couple of spots have opened up for the free one-to-one consult with me and my team to see if we're a good fit for the Reality Mastery program. Make sure you wait around till the very end of this video for the announcement on that. And with that, let's get started with this video. So today I want to talk to you about identity shifting and the most profound thing that I learned on my manifestation journey. And really it began with just an obsession over techniques and doing the next meditation, the next visualization, the affirmation. And what I saw with all of these things was that it gave me results, but it was always something that put a patch on the real problem. Right? At first, I started off with my goals and taking massive action towards the goals. And I was, working out, trying to get the fittest physique. I was taking action, trying to grow my business. I was studying to get great results. It was always at the most surface level where I started taking action. But then I saw that action didn't really quite produce the kind of results that I wanted. And I started to see that other people started to get better results quicker. And I was just working hard for no reason. Like I was just hitting a wall with every single effort that I put in. So I started to wonder why. Why is it some people are very quick to get results, but other people aren't? And this realization came from a personal experience with every single area of my life. And when I started to see what really brought in the results, okay? So what I started to realize was that the intellect is obsessed with action and doing, right? We're always looking for the next thing we can do to get results. So we're looking at taking massive action. We've been brought up in this culture of I need to do this, you need to do that to get this result. And that's why when people start businesses, they're always looking for the next big idea to help them get to that business, right? And while the right strategies are crucial, it's like Napoleon Hill describes in Outwitting the Devil. He basically says this: a weak plan executed with a definiteness of purpose will always trump a strong plan executed with an indefiniteness of purpose. Now, the key thing here you've got to understand is the definiteness of purpose. What do I mean by that? It's essentially the who that is doing. It's the place of being that this doing is coming from. Because the intellect is obsessed with doing, it doesn't care who it is that's doing. You're just focused on doing the next thing and you think grinding hard is going to get you results. This is why I was stuck going to the gym every single day for a year and getting no results. This is why I was stuck doing my affirmations for a year trying to, I'm so happy and grateful that I have $100,000 in my bank account, and never did that $100,000 come in my bank account. Because it was always the same person who was doing these different things. That is the definition of insanity. Insanity is doing different things, expecting a different result from the same place of being. I'll repeat that for you one more time. Insanity is doing different things from the same place of being, expecting different results. It doesn't matter, what it is you're doing. It matters who it is that even does the doing. There's some people who just touch anything and it'll turn into gold. It doesn't make sense why. It's because internally they're in the right state of alignment with that thing. And if you combine the right state of being with the right doing, that's when the havingness comes in. So this brings me to the 3 paradigms of reality that I learned from someone called David R. Hawkins. Okay? The lowest paradigm of manifestation of a reality is the paradigm of having. This is when your sense of self-worth is derived by what you have. Oh, I have this nice car, therefore I'm this. I have, therefore I am. Okay? Your sense of self-worth is derived from what you have, where you are societally. The next above that is doing. This is when your sense of self-worth is derived from what you do. Okay? Now, what do I mean by that? It's like, I do, therefore I am, right? Because I'm doing this, therefore I am that. This is what you keep affirming to yourself. Your sense of self-worth, your identity is attached to what you do, okay? And if you stop doing that, you're going to lose your sense of self-worth. The final and the highest state of all is the state of being. This is when your sense of self-worth is, I am enough. It's derived from just a sense of being, okay? Be, do, and have, in that order. Now, why do I say that this is the highest state of being? Well, it's always like we always look for a material result, right? But what's interesting is we look for something. We look to have these material things because we feel they will give us a certain feeling. This feeling is really related to who you are, okay? I want money because I want to feel rich. Feeling rich. Ironically, the rich feeling must come in the beginning in order for the havingness to come into play. So to give you an example of that, if a poor person, if you're internally poor and you start to do different things trying to get rich, you're always going to stay stuck poor. There's always going to be some form of self-sabotage. We've seen this with so many clients, it's absolutely ridiculous. People come in trying to start up their own businesses, and internally they've come from a place of such scarcity, such lack of self-belief, such unworthiness. They think that the doing and the having will fix that, right? But there's no other way to do that than to first assume that state of being in the first place. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to really ground this state of being in concreteness by the end of this video, okay? Make sure you stick around for that. But essentially, you can do all of these different things. You can have all of these different things, but they will never become a solution for your state of being, okay? These will always form a band-aid solution because these are the surface layer of reality, right? When you focus on having something in order to feel a certain way, then when you don't have that, you're not going to feel that. When you focus on doing something to feel a certain way, when you don't do that, you're not going to feel that way, right? So now your internal sense of self-worth is tied into all of these things. It is dependent on these things. So when these material things, you've got to understand, life is always in a constant state of becoming and being. It's in a state of impermanence. It's always subject to change. Because of that, nothing material is always going to stick around, right? The best thing to do is derive your sense of being from who you are within. That I am, that sense of I am, okay? Now, the big question becomes, how do we do that? That's why we do the Reality Mastery Program, where we help people shift at that identity level. But to really understand this concept, you got to think of it like this. Let's say you want to manifest something, right? You always focus on the having. So you say, okay, I want to get money. I want to make money in my business. Then you think about, okay, what can I do to make money in my business? And even in the doing, there are different layers to it, right? You first look at, okay, I want to start this business and that business. And I've been there, I've had the vague idea of financial freedom, tried the trading, the affiliate marketing, the drop shipping, and all of these efforts yielded no fruit because who I was never changed. I was still worthy of the 9 to 5. I was still looking for that instant gratification, hoping something would stick, throwing spaghetti on the wall. Instead of building something sustainable, instead of who I wanted to be, okay, who I needed to be worthy of that. I internally was worthy of the 9 to 5, so that's what I kept returning to. Every single effort towards entrepreneurship, nothing stuck, okay? None of those stuck because I internally wasn't worthy of that. Only when I shifted my sense of being and I started to really build myself up to becoming that entrepreneur, that successful coach version of myself, then this happened, right? Then the doing came, then the having came, okay? So what you got to focus on to get effortless results, to break that internal ceiling is, who are you becoming? With all of these things, who are you becoming? Who do you want to be? And remember that being never stops right there. Even this still is subject to change. This is the most subtle aspect of reality. This is the most gross aspect of reality. This is the thing that bridges the subtle and the gross. When you focus on being, then you see what this person would do. Okay, what would Quasi, the successful 20K, 100K, 200K a month coach do every single day? What sort of things will we focus on? When your doingness comes from beingness, then the havingness will follow. Okay? Everything that you do when it's aligned to who you're becoming, inevitably the havingness will follow. This is why we see people who try to get their first clients in their side business come into the Reality Mastery Program, and for 2 years they've been trying to get a client and nothing works. They've done massive outreach. They've gone out there trying to get clients and nothing's ever gotten them their first client. But then they come into the program within the first 4 weeks they get their first 2 clients, right? Why does this happen? Because they get out of their own ways. They stop the self-sabotaging. They have now become worthy of being that coach that they wanted to be, right? So now I want to share with you the 3 keys to really tie in this state of being. Okay, I want you to pay very close attention to the very end of this video. Number 1, what you've got to get clear on, very, very clear on, is what it is you want and who it is you got to become to achieve that. What do I mean by that? Well, it's like this. If you don't know your goal, you're just going to be moving in all different directions. When you do find out your goal, you got to see who you got to become in order to achieve that goal. Let's give you an example. Let's say Quasi wanted to have 20K a month as a successful coaching business. Who does he have to become? He has to be worthy of the 20K a month. He has to embody the characteristics of that successful 20K a month coach. Who are other 20K a month coaches? How do they act? Who are they internally? What characteristics do they embody? Embody those. Craft this character in your mind's eye as though you would, and act as though you would if you did have this. Right? So who are you becoming every single day? What are your actions tailored to? This brings me to my second point. Before and during the activity and the doing, remind yourself of this who. Okay? So whenever you do this activity that you're doing, when you're doing your outreach, when you are working on your business, remind yourself, always keep in your mind's eye that image of that ideal self. Who is it that's even doing this? Who am I that's doing this? Who is this that's actually worthy of this? All you need to do is keep that in mind. That's it. Just keep that image in mind. You'll move towards it. Whatever you focus on, you move towards. Okay? In every single activity that you're doing, just keep that ideal self in mind. Who is it that's doing this? This is how we tailor all of our doing to our being. Okay? Number 3, use doing and having as a confirmation of being. I can't emphasize this enough. This is where most people miss out. That's why they keep reverting back to the old self. There are always 2 selves at play. Who you are right now, who it is you're becoming. But the new self that you're becoming is kind of weak right now. It's not strong because it's not grounded in proof. The mind doesn't want to accept that. So you got to give it proof. How do you give it proof? Like this. Your doingness must feed into your beingness. Your havingness must feed into your beingness. What do I mean by that? Let's say you want to become a successful 20K a month coach, right? What does a successful 20K a month coach version of Quasi do? He makes X amount of videos a week. Since I'm doing these videos right now, I must be this version of myself. Do you see what I'm trying to say? What does the successful 20K a month version of Quasi have? Oh, he builds up to the 20K a month. Oh, this month I made 5K. Oh, next month I make 10K. I am becoming that 20K a month coach. Very, very important. You help your mind see that opening that leads up to that goal of who you're becoming. This is very, very crucial. Okay? Without this, the being will never be confirmed. It'll always be in a weak state. It'll always be ungrounded and unconcretized. This is how we concretize it, only to use the having and the doingness as a confirmation of who we're becoming, not the other way around. Because this is how it always begins. You always think you're not worthy, and you're looking at what you're doing to prove that unworthiness. You're looking at what you have to prove that unworthiness. You can look at the $10 that you have in your pocket and remind yourself, look, I have $10, I'm rich. Or you can say, oh, look, I have $10, I'm poor. Right? It's what meaning you're putting onto these things that's dictating how your life is following. Okay? So with that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I sincerely hope this was helpful. Let's recap. We talked about identity shifting and why some people take 2 years to achieve a goal and why some people can achieve that 2-year goal in such a short period of time. It's insane, right? How I really went from 0 to 100K a month in my business within 11 months of starting it. Not because I did something. I still do those same YouTube videos that I did when I first started, right? Nothing has changed. My doingness hasn't changed. It's that this doingness is coming from a different place of being. Every time I hit a goal, I choose to become someone different. I upgrade myself. That's how you do it, right? So the intellect is always obsessed with doing. It's because we've been brought into this massive action culture that we got to think that, oh, I must grind hard to earn my place under the sun. It's complete bullshit, right? You don't need to work hard, right? Whenever you say the thing, work hard, it always implies a dissatisfaction, a struggle. It doesn't need to be a struggle. It can be, effortless. It can be enjoyable. Right? When you get internally aligned the correct way, your actions come from a different place of being. Right? I'm excited to work 10 to 12 hours a day on my business. Why? Because I've gotten into the right state of being. Okay? I'm excited to even do the admin work sometimes because I always think about what longer term, success it's going to bring to my clients. Okay? So you got to get into that right place of being so that every single thing that you do, every single thing that you touch turns into gold. And this is how you do it. You got to understand that there are 3 paradigms of reality. The lowest paradigm, where you derive your sense of self-worth from what you have, is the having paradigm. A next level above that is what you do. Most intellectuals are at this level. They're like, okay, I am cool because I am a rocket scientist. Or I'm cool because I'm an engineer and I do engineering every day. That's what makes me cool, right? You derive your sense of self-worth from what you do. The highest level of all, when you internally are just enough. You've learned to manipulate your internal state by just choosing and focusing on who you want to embody at this point in your life. That's what we want to strive to, right? And understand that insanity is just doing different things, expecting a different result from the same state of being, okay? You've got to change if you want to be that successful entrepreneur, not your actions, not just your actions, okay? And this is how we do it. Number 1, you got to get clear on what you want and who it is you've got to become to achieve that. If you don't get clear on what you want, you're going to be moving in all different directions. I always had a vague idea of financial freedom. I thought I wanted financial freedom, but what's the point working 12 hours on my business, making less than I would for my professional career, right? So it's not financial freedom that I wanted, but it's to just do something that's impactful, something that's meaningful to other people and give value to their lives, right? That's number 1. And you got to find out who you got to become to be that. Who is the 20K a month version of Quasi? What characteristics, what actions, even the actions are part of your being, right? Now I'm looking at what this person does and step into that form that you create. Number 2, whenever you're doing these activities, ask yourself who it is that's doing it. Who am I that's doing it? Am I the scarce, the poor version of myself that's doing this? Or am I the abundant, the wealthy version of myself that's doing this activity? Number 3, use your doing and having as a confirmation for your being. This is the most important part of it all. If you fail to confirm, this form is always going to drop. You're going to raise it up and it's going to drop. You're like, okay, I'm the 20K a month version. Then you don't see proof, you don't look for proof, it drops. To concretize it, you got to look for the proof in every single day reality. And what you do, and what you're having, what you're seeing around you, everything serves as a confirmation. It doesn't matter how little, how big. And with that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I sincerely hope this was helpful. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, click that like button, leave me a comment, and also subscribe, and hit the bell so you're notified of any new video that I put out. Also, I'm super excited to announce that the free one-to-one consult with me and my team for the Reality Mastery Program is now open. So make sure you click on the link in the description below to sign up for that. Let's see how we can take your reality to the next level. And really who we work with are as follows. Number 1, if you're a professional looking to take your career to the next level, or you're looking to take your entrepreneurial career to the next level and you want to transition out, get freedom, but you've seen that all of the strategies and tactics, all the doingness wasn't enough, and you're hitting an internal ceiling, this is for you, okay? We work with professionals and help them shift into entrepreneurs internally, and as a result, they break that invisible ceiling. If you're an entrepreneur as well, you're stuck at a certain revenue level, or you have inconsistent revenue, and you're seeing it's not a tactical, it's not a strategic problem, but it's an internal ceiling keeping you stuck at this level. You are not worthy of the 20, 30, 40K months. Then this is for you as well. Okay, if that sounds like you, make sure you click on the link in the description below to sign up, and I'm looking forward to working with you, looking forward to seeing how I can help. And also, I'm super excited to announce the free Facebook group is now open. Make sure you click in the link in the description for that, and hope I see you there. Till next time, peace.